Looking back, I see a lot of reasons why men think this way. Women see dating as a means to get financial freedom. Should I also mention the unrealistic expectations these modern women have just because they're the gatekeeper of sex? Dating modern women just isn't worth it.
A friend, we were having some drinks. It was a reunion, and he and I were chatting in the rooftop with this beautiful view. So we were drinking, smoking cigars. And let's just call him O. So O, I know you are a single father as well. I know you're divorced. So tell me, what do you do when you feel alone? What do you do now that you are single and dealing with this new life? He was just telling me that it was it wasn't a nasty divorce, but it was quite painful. Thankfully, she decided to be more of a cordial resolution. So she kept a car, a house, and he had to move out. And now he's living with his parents, and they share custody. He was having a good time with his situation, you know. And by that I mean he has a bit of peace of mind. He enjoys the time that he spends with his daughter. But yeah, I mean, he was saying, you know what? I hate dating now. I hate dating. I don't date anymore. And I was like, well, tell me, what do you mean? And I'm just going to describe him. He's shorter than me. I'm probably 5'11", 5'10". I am 170 pounds, and he's shorter than me, probably 5'7", maybe. He's darker than me, darker skinned than me. He's not bad looking, and he goes to the gym and he's like really built, you know. You know, he dresses nice and he's a good guy, you know, he's a good guy. So he started explaining, you know what, I dislike it. I dislike dating now. I can't stand wasting my time like that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, if I go out with a younger girl, they're all inexperienced. They want me to decide everything. They're always taking pictures about themselves. The social media is filled with themselves, with food and the places they go and visit. They're not that very interesting. They're beautiful and hot, but I don't see myself, you know, pursuing a relationship with any girl like that. And then when I try to date my age or older, well, they all have problems. They all are recently single, like we are. So they're dealing with that breakup. They're dealing with emotions. They probably are dealing with divorce. Some of them have kids. And I don't want to have any more kids, he says. By the way, he's 35 or 36 years old. He was like, sometimes I cannot connect with them. So it's like going on a first date, probably a second and third date, and I'm optimistic, but there's nothing there, and it you know, we stop seeing each other. But then they expect me to pay everything, and if they have a problem, then they ask me for money. And I'm tired of that. I'm dealing with my wife, I'm dealing with my girl, with my daughter, and I'm not in a position to give out money. I have money, but I don't want to give it for free. And there are some times that I'm really lonely, and I want some touch and release, you know, some care, some loving touch and release. I understand everything that you've been saying. I understand. And he's like, well, I realized that I don't want to date anymore. To me, it's extremely easy and logical and more reasonable to go to a place that I know that there will be beautiful women, amazing bodies, that will be hot, and I just need to pay in order to have a good time, have a laugh, and by the end of the night, I'll score, I'll have sex, I'll have fun, it'll be a great time, and it will be fun and straight to the point. Because in some of those dates, I'm spending money on first date, second date, third date, and by the third date or fourth date, it's not even sure that I'm going to be having anything, back. I want sex.
Men have always and are still paying for sex. Most times what we pay with is our attention, our time. Everything the man mentioned is what 90% of men are going through. You cold approach a woman, or you send her a message on a dating app. You guys schedule a date. You tell her to pick a restaurant. She picks the most expensive. You guys meet up, then she says she has a 3-date rule. You don't care because you want love. Sex is secondary. After the date, after seeing you can afford an expensive restaurant, suddenly she has a problem with her car. Suddenly, her dad is ill. Suddenly, she's stranded. Dating is just a means for women to make us pay their bills. Of course, simps will send her money because they are horny. If you've been in the dating game for a while, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to what I'm saying. There was a day I was starting to give Western women a chance after speaking with a traditional Western woman. I came to realize that there are still good women in the West. She believed that a man should be the provider. We talked for hours. Then I tried to see Western women in a new light, only to see various news stories flying out. It was either a woman was involved in paternity fraud or a woman divorced her husband for money. Western women can't be saved. About the issue of paying for sex. You don't pay escorts for sex. Sex is abundant in modern society. What you're actually paying for is to leave after the sex. You're paying to avoid all the baggage, money, time and energy that modern women come with. Let me put this out there. I do not support sex trade. It is illegal in most countries. If it was legal, then I would approve. If it's not illegal in your country, then go for it. That's the easiest way to get sex and be free from child support fees and alimony fees. If you're a man going your own way, how do you blow off the steam? Let me know in the comments. The only thing I can tell you guys to have is a friend with benefits. Yes, FWB. You want only sex, and she wants only sex. I also want you to know that you need to avoid a de facto relationship at all costs. Don't worry, I'll tell you what it is and how to avoid it. So, you know that thing where two people shack up together and act like a couple without actually tying the knot? That's called a de facto relationship. They share their lives, their home, and their future plans with each other, but without the whole legal marriage thing. Even though they're not officially married, they may still have legal responsibilities and rights, like sharing property, supporting each other financially, and even custody of their kids. Even if you're not married, but live with a woman, you're automatically in a de facto relationship, and you risk losing your kids and property to divorce if things go south. Since that is exactly what we're trying to avoid, I'll give you the steps you need to take to avoid entering a de facto relationship. I got you covered. 1. Speak your truth. Don't beat around the bush. Let your FWB partner know what you're looking for. If you're not about that de facto life, say it loud and proud. 2. Keep your money where your heart isn't. Don't merge your finances with your FWB partners. Keep your bank accounts, credit cards, and piggy banks separate. 3. Separate living arrangements, separate lives. If you're not ready for the ultimate roommate experience, keep your living arrangements separate. No mixing of toothbrushes or sharing of the remote. 4. Avoid the common law trap. Did you know that in some places, living together for a certain amount of time can accidentally make you legally bound to your partner? Be aware of the laws in your area and avoid cohabitation commitment. It saddens me that society has messed everything up to the extent that men need to start looking for loopholes in the law. Men were never meant to win the dating game in the first place. The government is against men. As I said before, let me know in the comments how you guys blow off the steam. No one's going to judge you. That's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.